Hi guys, I'm Chantel, I'm YoungMin's wife. A lot of you have been commenting on different music videos asking YoungMin questions about himself, kind of where he came from, what he's about. And we've not done a lot of that yet, at least not on YouTube, so that's why we're here today.
I take full blame. That is my fault, and I've been trying to get better at sharing my life with you guys and invite you in more and share some of my testimonies and basically document my life, because when I look back, I know it's not my work or my doing. Everything that has happened in my life, truly it is by God's grace, and God's been doing some amazing things in my life. So I hope this is going to help you to connect with me, and we are going to be able to get to know each other better, and my story will also bring you some encouragement.
So we don't know exactly what this whole thing is going to look like, but we're really excited for it, and we're going to start off right at the beginning.
Yep.
So if you don't know already, YoungMin, you were born and raised in South Korea. Can you tell us a bit about your childhood?
Well, when I think back, I feel like so much has happened. So when I was young, my dad, by the way, is a Korean pastor. My dad is a pastor in South Korea. He had a small church. And growing up, we just didn't have a lot of money. Like, my dad is the most passionate and incredible preacher I've ever known. But at the time, because his ministry was just beginning, we just didn't have a lot of money. Like, we couldn't even afford to pay rents. Which meant we had to move a lot. I feel like we kind of got kicked out.
Oh no.
Yeah. So we had to move around a lot, and I remember one of the houses that we landed on, it was not really a full house. It was more of an apartment, but it was a one-room apartment, and there was nothing there other than this one room, little tiny kitchen, and we didn't even have a bathroom in the house.
Wow.
So to give you some perspective on how tiny this place was, it was like around 50-60 square foot, which is, I think, about an average bedroom size in the United States. So our bed was literally a sheet of blanket across the room, and when four of us, my sister, my parents, and I laid down together, the room was pretty much full.
Wow.
And so yeah, we basically slept right next to each other, holding hands. We didn't hold hands. But we just, I mean, I didn't know any better. I thought that was pretty normal until I went to my friend's house, and then their house was so much bigger. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed to bring anyone to our house because it's so tiny. That's when I kind of realized, I was like 7, that this was not normal. So it was really funny because we didn't have a bathroom in the house, I was so scared to go pee at night. And there are times that I woke up in the middle of the night having to pee really bad, and I was too scared to go out because it was cold and dark, and I felt really scared 2 in the morning. So I would just wet my bed. Unfortunately, it was everyone else's bed as well, so then they weren't very happy. My family all got wet. So yeah, it was pretty bad growing up. I even like woke up one morning because our house was not in the best shape. I had an ant crawling in my ear, and I don't think any of us really missed that time. Yeah, so the crazy thing is though, we had such a great bond. We loved each other, and my parents did such a great job at giving everything for us and to us. We didn't have a lot, but I never felt like we lacked anything because my parents were so sacrificial and gave us so much. We really learned to love each other in that tight space together.
So eventually you had to get out of this 50 square foot little apartment. How did that happen?
So the funny story behind that, so if I'm being really honest, I don't know how all the transitions happened, but at one point, we even lost that place.
Wow.
Like, we had to go somewhere else, but we moved a lot, and we actually ended landing at my grandma's house. We didn't have anywhere else to stay. We couldn't afford to pay for any other rental places, so my grandma graciously took us into her own tiny apartment. And the thing was, she was taking care of my uncle who was disabled at the time. Her apartment was only, I don't know, it wasn't much bigger than our old one. And she had 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. My uncle, because he was disabled and needed special care, he needed his own place. So then he took 1 room. So now in the other room, my younger sister was just born as well.
Wow.
So my 2 sisters, my parents, and my grandma and I basically lived in that one tiny room together. And my grandma snored really loudly. So does my dad. So did my dad. So, oh man, I don't know how I slept through it. Now, yeah, I didn't have earplugs or anything like that, but it was a very special time, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, sharing 1 bedroom among 6-7 people. That was interesting, and it was not a good bathroom. So yeah, we lived with my grandma for about a year and a half, and then we moved out. But soon after we moved out, something tragic happened. We learned that my uncle took his own life. Yeah, which was really difficult for all of us. And I don't know, we lived together for 1.5 years, and I saw all the struggles that he was going through because he was physically and mentally ill. He was struggling so much internally, and for me, just witnessing that, I was like, wow, this is so hard for him. And I felt really guilty because I felt helpless. I couldn't really do much to help him. And I know it's not my fault, but I felt responsible in a way that I could have done a better job at reaching out to him, or even share more of the gospel and God's love for him, and making sure that he knows God loves him and cares for him, and his life is worth living for. I don't know why. I mean, I was only like 10 or 11, but I still took that really to my heart. And that was kind of in a way like a turning point where I decided I will never, when God put something in my heart, I'm never gonna just hold it back. I'm never gonna hold back. I'm always gonna share. That's why I'm so vocal about my faith. Part of the reason I truly believe is because of the experience. I want to be more vocal. I want to let people know life is so short. We never know what's going to happen in the future. And we also shouldn't take the people that are around us for granted. We never know what they're going through in their daily lives. And I want to make sure that I reach out to them and let them know that I care for them. And there's God who loves them deeply and dearly. Yeah.
I think that's amazing. That can be such a hard lesson for anybody to learn, but the fact that you learned it at such a young age and were able to really take it to heart and live that out so well is really a wonderful testament.
Thank you. I know it's God giving me the heart. I think God gave me compassion. God gave me a compassionate heart for the poor, weak, and the ones that can't help themselves. And living with my grandma and my uncle and the whole family in that small, tiny, tight setting like that really shaped me to be humble. And it helped me to realize that true happiness does not come from money or like materialistic things.
Right.
It truly comes from the connection, God's love.
Well, I think all of that is just really amazing, and obviously I know a lot more of your story because we're married and we've talked about this a lot. I also know, though, because I know your story, that middle school was basically a really challenging time.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna go there. It was a traumatic experience. And I don't know how much I can actually share in public, but I think it will be encouraging to some of you how someone like me can be still used for God's glory. If God can use me, He will be able to use anyone and everyone.
Amen. So thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that you were encouraged by a bit of YoungMin's testimony. Let us know what you think, because we really don't know what this is going to look like long term.
Yeah, we are gonna kind of fix as we go.
Like, subscribe, slam that bell.